tomorrow's marathon. More than 50,000 runners will attend the event just days after 8 people were killed in a horrific terror attack near the World Trade Center Memorial. Mayor Bill de Blasio saying New Yorkers will not live in fear.
The whole world will be watching on Sunday, and what we're going to show them is that New York City is resolute, strong, and unmoved by the horrible events of Tuesday. We are humanly mourning those who are lost, but we're not going to let terrorists change who we are.
Brian Yennis is live in Lower Manhattan with the very latest. Brian.
Good evening, Arthel. Well, authorities say that this New York City Marathon tomorrow will be the most secure ever. Double, triple the personnel, but also they're adding what they call blocker vehicles, even more of those blocker vehicles and sand trucks in and around the perimeter of this marathon. Remember, this marathon goes through 5 of the boroughs. That's a lot of ground to cover, but they're adding these vehicles to make sure they can protect pedestrians from potential vehicular attacks.
We more than doubled our observation teams, our rooftop observation posts, as well as our counter sniper teams from the emergency services unit throughout the boroughs, not just here in Manhattan. And we've also added more heavy weapons teams.
All day we've been out here at the site of the attack on Tuesday, a memorial where New Yorkers have been coming to pay their respects. Today, Darren Drake, one of the 2 Americans killed of the 8 killed, had his wake today in New Jersey. The 32-year-old program manager was killed in between meetings as he was on his bicycle run over by the truck. This as the investigation continues into the actual suspect, the 29-year-old Uzbekistan man, Saifullah Saipov. The FBI says this man, no doubt, was self-radicalized sometime in the United States. They believe when he arrived in 2010. They also believe this is somebody who not only was self-radicalized, but someone who probably acted alone. They have found no evidence to suggest otherwise. His wife is cooperating with the FBI and
Of WMAL's Mornings on the Mall. Vince, good to see you. I mean, is this at all important, or how important is it? I mean, apparently Page, according to the reporting, said something to the Attorney General, a senator at the time, in passing at a dinner, that he's going to Russia. I mean, Sessions could say, all right, so the guy told me he's going to Russia.
Yeah. Well, the other thing to remember here is that this is apparently the only time Carter Page ever Jeff Sessions. It's no wonder Jeff Sessions wouldn't remember a meeting like this. Jeff Sessions is substantially more famous than Carter Page, and Carter Page would remember meeting such a famous senator from Alabama, I would think. So he mentions to him, hey, by the way, I'm off to Russia, and that is the extent of it that we know of. We should see a transcript of that House Intel Committee testimony next week.
Yeah, wouldn't they ask
Carter
him what?
Page
I mean,
agreed to
wouldn't
that.
they specifically ask him, what did you say? I mean, did you say, I'm going to Russia to try the vodka, or I'm going to Russia to go meet with Putin's people, and we're going to, we're going to those emails, and we're going to tip the campaign. What's going to be in that testimony?
One would hope they ask germane questions to get details. We do know that the public record shows that in July of 2016, when he went to Moscow, the responsibility was to speak at the graduation of the new economics school. Doing that, and as a result, we also know that the Washington Post has previously reported that so this sounds like there's a high probability that this is incidental contact. He spoke to somebody who literally graduated from the school he was speaking at in Moscow, and now he's having to explain it.
But what if it's not incidental contact? You know how the Russian spooks work. I mean, you know,
totally.
There's a lot of secret stuff. What if it's not incidental? This is part of their plan.
Well, if it's not, and Carter Page was party to this, well, one, that we'd have to establish what law he violated, and if he did, Robert Mueller's investigation is probably going to bear down on him. Because, look, the FBI and the Mueller investigation have spent many hours talking to Carter Page, but the way he's been behaving over the last week either suggests he's totally insane or he's a man with a clean conscience, which is to say he didn't even have a lawyer at the House Intel testimony, and he's been going on television to talk about everything he knows, again, without a lawyer. Wow. That's not the behavior of a guilty man. Unless he's crazy.
I mean, he has a lawyer. Look at what he said. This is what he wrote. He was so pissed off that he wrote this letter in May of this last May to the Senate Intel Committee, which he wrote, and it included saying this: I played no role in any government active measures in the 2016 election other than being a target of the Obama administration's efforts to support Mrs. Clinton's campaign. I have no personal information that the Russian government or anyone associated with it played any role in the 2016 U.S. election. But that last line seems to contradict the fact that he did meet with Russian officials.
Well, he certainly, again, I mean, he admitted that he met with a Russian official. What that means, meet, like, did he arrange a meeting? Did they have any sincere conversation about colluding or any of this other stuff? We'll see. Right now, I would say hold your breath. We don't have a smoking Kalashnikov. At this moment, we have to wait to find out what Mueller's investigation yields. And also, this testimony this week will be so riveting to actually read through, and maybe it'll give us something.
Yeah, I mean, how do you know we're going to get it? I mean, is that... You know, everything leaks in Washington, almost.
Yes.
Almost. Not the Mueller stuff.
Just about everything. Yeah. Mueller's had some success in keeping the leaks out, but everything else is leaking. Supposedly, there's an agreement that Carter Page has reached with the House Intel Committee. Maybe we'll see it this week. Okay. I think we need to put this thing to bed soon, though.
Well, Carter Page has been, you know, singing like a canary with nothing guilty there. This is what he said. When he spoke to Fox News Channel about all this just a few months ago. I mean, he is saying he did nothing wrong at all. Here he is.
I'm a loyal American, and I served my country in the military, and I was an Eagle Scout growing up, Catholic school altar boy, so I've done nothing wrong. Maybe I got a couple speeding tickets along the way, but I've never done anything illegal. So for them to come after me, if this is in fact the case, would be quite an astonishing revelation.
I mean, I don't know. If you look behind on the screen behind Carter, you know who's behind on the screen, on this TV screen behind them? Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. I mean, that just, who knows? How does this happen?
He might own a Russian doll or something. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Just a coincidence. Lavrov was having a news conference at the time the interview was being done. So finally, I mean, what's your advice to Carter Page, and how do you predict the Carter Page